and welcome back to our second in the series of Series 4 with Cuppa Tea with a Vet. We have got Katharine Sewell of Mercer and Hughes Veterinary Practice. Welcome, Katharine.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's just going to be great to get to know you. So, Katharine, start by introducing yourself.
So my name's Katharine. I have a stupid surname. It's not actually Sewell, it's pronounced Sewell, but everyone gets it wrong.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Doesn't matter, don't worry. So Donna and I actually met on a vet group on Facebook, sort of talking about more holistic approaches to cases and things like that. Got chatting, came down and spent the day with her, which I think we'll probably talk about, so that's how kind of we met. I'm from Essex. I was born in Essex. I've worked in Essex. I went to uni in London. Apparently, I just am too scared to leave my county. So I'm a small animal first opinion vet. Pets, cats, dogs. I also do quite a lot of kind of exotic mammals. So in veterinary terms, that's things like rabbits and ferrets and dagoos and guinea pigs and hamsters and all that kind of stuff. I've been Mercer and Hughes quite recently, actually, only about 3 months. But I've been in practice for about 13 and a half years somehow. So that's me, I guess.
Lovely. No, it's nice to get to know you. Absolutely, that's brilliant. And we're definitely going to delve into you much more. So no, that's lovely. So are you enjoying it at Mercer and Hughes?
Yeah, it's different to I've worked at a lot of places where it's been quite quiet, or a few places where either it's a new practice that we're building up, or it's a practice that hasn't had a vet for a while. So I'm trying to straighten myself up. And then going to Mercer and Hughes, they're much more established, much busier, so it has been a bit of a change actually from what I've done actually for the past sort of 6 or 7 years. But no, it's been really, really good. It's been nice. It's been nice it being busy. It's been a bit of a change really, because I'm so used to sort of almost being that sort of jack of all trades, sort of taking on a bit of everything because we're sort of just getting started and stuff. So it's all a bit odd actually, just going to a place where I just have to vet. So I suppose that's why I'm kind of investigating as I'm not a holistic vet, as in / practice manager / etc. I'm looking to more sort of holistic things in my actual practice, I suppose.
That's really lovely, and lead us on very nicely to how we met and stuff. First, I just want to say also a quick hello to hi Brian, hi Barbara. Thank you so much for watching us. It was really wonderful. Now, Katharine can talk the back end off a donkey, I have to say. And so me and Katharine in the same room together was hilarious because we just did not stop talking. But how we first met was actually because we have a forum group called Vet Voices, which loads of vets go on and vent or say their piece or ask for help or reach out. It's great. It's a really great forum and really positive. And Katharine reached out on there asking about ways of helping cats in a more holistic way. And so I piped on and I said my piece as well as lots of people did. And it was really nice to see somebody wanting to be so open-minded, because the issue that she had was that the owner wanted a very holistic approach to dealing with her cat and was actually quite closed to the idea of anything else. And I can understand how people can get like that, because people can be so they feel like they're going to fight for what they want, and so they shut their mind off. And it's not necessarily, I don't even think it's that they are completely shut off, but they want to have that argument based on what their view is first, and then they might come round to the other ideas when they think you're not just arguing with them all the time. And I think Katharine picked up this completely, and I was so like, yay, well done, Katharine. And so when I mentioned about physio, Katharine was like, oh, actually I don't know much about physio, so yeah, can I let's chat. So we chatted, and then Katharine decided she wanted to come and see practice. So we had a whole day of basically chatting and seeing patients, which was amazing. And it was really lovely to be able to show off that side of this side of work really to a vet. It was wonderful. So thank you again. I can't thank you enough anyway for being so open and being able to come. And
thank you for having me then and now. It was yeah, it was good. And yeah, just kind of going back to what you're saying about sort of some people, they want to say their piece, etc. I think especially if they have had maybe a bad experience in the past, you know, with a vet or a doctor or whatever, you know, where it's sort of like, oh, you know, I don't want to try this. Can I try, you know, X, Y? I mean, to use a kind of good human, I suppose it's someone with sort of mental health issues who are sort of like, I don't want to try medication. Can I try talking therapy, etc., etc.?
Yeah.
And, you know, you might get a very sort of closed-minded person who's like, no, you have to do that. And, you know, and I think people have that with vets, of course, as well. So yeah, absolutely. And yeah, because that particular cat was quite sore. So we were looking at sort of non-drug ways that I could help, because she didn't want her cat to have drugs. It's her cat, it's her decision. But I want to help the cat still. So it was sort of like, what else can I do, basically? So but yeah, and yeah, had some really good suggestions, really, really good. And then obviously Donna and I, talking, and yeah, no, it's been eye-opening. What has been eye-opening? Because how long ago was it? Was it
a couple of weeks now? I think it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks, wasn't it? Yeah. What's been really interesting is since then I've been talking to a lot more people about physio, like and I used to quite a lot, probably more than a lot of people do, but virtually all of my arthritis clinics I am. A lot of lameness clinics I am now, unless it's a real straightforward, you know, he's twisted it, give him a bit of rest, he'll be fine kind of thing. And it's really, really actually eye-opening, especially considering, like, you know, I've been doing this over a decade. So, you know, it's all a bit been there, done that. And it's really interesting how just twisting that view a little bit, it actually really opens up a huge level of possibilities, but also a new sort of way of talking to people and all this, you know. It's been eye-opening, and it's been really positive for me, and I've got really positive feedback from my clients.
Yay!
Yeah, it's been really, really good. A nurse that I work with is also interested in physio, sort of prior to Donna and I speaking, and she started doing some sort of arthritis clinics and stuff like that. So between us, so I've been sort of sending her everything, you know, she's been sort of doing more and more CPD, and it's sort of starting to take a little, you know, we've got a nice little clinics going now, which is really, really positive. We're getting really good feedback. We're able to, you know, even after only a couple of weeks, and some of these guys were able to lower the doses of their painkillers and stuff.
Yay!
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been so good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled to hear that. So yeah, we'll go back to this later, definitely. So yeah, I just wanted to know a bit more. So, like, what do you do in your spare time? What makes you happy? Because you're a very happy vet, Catherine.
Thank you. There's a lot of people who disagree with you.
Well, I've only seen the happy side.
Exactly. I don't actually have all that much spare time, because so I'm a single mum. I do only work part-time, but I'm a single mum. My little girl's going to be 6 next month. Yeah, so yeah, between work and her, and then generally, you know, keeping the house and trying to keep on top of laundry and things like that, I don't have huge amounts of spare time, and generally a lot of it is things like reading, and I like computer games. I used to do a lot of martial arts before I had I can't remember if I mentioned this or not to you, but yeah, I used to do martial arts really, really intensely before I had Thea.
Wow. What belt? What belt?
Well, I was a black belt in JKD.
Wow.
Yeah, I was white belt 2-stripe in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was a blue belt in Kali, which is Filipino martial arts. So I did it quite, so like I could break your arm. No.
I was going to say, don't cross you on a dark alley, blimey. Wow, I feel like you should have that on the door of your consult room.
Be nice.
Don't mess with the black belt. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah, if I've got like if I've got some time for, I try and do a bit of that. And actually, funny enough, we're doing a kickboxing themed party for Thea next month, because she's mega into kickboxing at the moment. You know, age appropriate kickboxing. But yeah. So
that's very cool. I did that once. I did it to green belt.
Oh yeah, so, which art?
Kickboxing.
Oh yeah. It's so much fun. Like, I just think it's such a good release. And then it's so different from what like you and I do as a job day to day.
Totally.
yeah,
And it's really good to it's really good to learn a defense skill, basically, isn't it? So yeah, there's definitely a good thing to learn and be, feel a little bit safer about. So yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Well, I did not see that coming. I'm glad I asked that question. Well done. So what made you decide to be a vet?
Funnily, I was going to be a doctor when I was sort of early teen. Well, prior to that, I was going to be an astronaut / pig farmer.
Wow.
Yeah.
A pig farmer on Mars?
No, the pigs were going to be at home, but like when I wasn't astronauting, I'd look after the pigs. And
I'm so sorry, I wasn't sensible there, was I? I wasn't thinking that through. Pig farming astronaut.
Yeah, pig farming astronaut, and apparently a bus conductor as well, but that all kind of messed up when you don't have conductors anymore. I don't know where I'm going with this. But so anyways, when I actually really did want to know what I want to do, I decided I was quite interested in medicine and sort of went to being a doctor. I actually did some work experience when I was about 15 in an A&E department in Harlow.
Wow.
And yeah, just 2 weeks, like just sort of what you do in year 11 or what you did at the time. I don't know what it is now. And a lot of the doctors just seemed really sort of stressed, really unhappy, not particularly enjoying it. And I was sort of like, I don't actually really fancy this, but I was still interested in medicine in general. And I'd always liked animals, had pets growing up. I rode, I had a little horse that I rode sort of as a teenager, all this kind of stuff. And so I was sort of like kind of looking into veterinary, found out more about it, did some work experience, enjoyed it. And yeah, kind of went from there really. So I was a little bit different because a lot of people decide age sort of 5, that's what they want to do. So my sort of route was slightly different, but yeah, I can't really imagine doing anything else now.
I think that's brilliant. I think it's great that you explored so many variety of options. I honestly think that's amazing, and I love that you had all those high aspirations and a bus conductor. So that's brilliant. And I want to know, what was your reason for the bus conducting? Like, what did you see as being the really cool thing about that? Was it the bus? Was it the meeting people?
I don't know if this is true of all bus because it was the conductor. I didn't want to drive the bus. This was like when I was about 8, and I used to get on the bus with my nanny who lived in Southend, and the bus conductor had this little machine that he wore around his neck, and I don't know, pushed some things and the ticket, and I just thought that machine was the coolest thing in the world. Like, essentially, I wanted the ticket machine.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's not really, because I was probably about 8 or 9. Like, I was probably far too old to be like, that's a cool machine, but.
No way, you're never too old to, I mean, not being funny, but people obsess about their mobile. It's basically a gadget, isn't it? So I'm pretty sure that was the equivalent.
So.
That was the equivalent back then. So I definitely think that was very cool. I as a country bumpkin, we didn't have bus conductors. We were lucky if we had buses. So I never even saw those. I actually didn't think they actually were real. I thought they were just something you saw on TV. So yeah, I honestly thought that you didn't have bus conductors. I thought they were just something on the telly. Like that's
yeah, I mean, I don't really know, because I only used to get buses when I was with my nanny because my parents had a car. So it was only when I went to stay with her in Southend. So don't know, because it was either get the bus or get the car with my nan's friend Olive, who was about sort of in her 80s and couldn't really see, and used to sort of just fly around in one of these old cars that had like the bench seats at the back without any seat belts. So we used to get the bus.
No, I think that's absolutely brilliant and commendable. I mean, like I say, I got buses just very rarely because there were hardly any of them, and we didn't have bus conductors in the slightest. But honestly, my perspective of London is very, very different. I tell people now, and everybody laughs at me, but growing up, I honestly didn't even think you had children in London. I honestly thought that London was only for adults. And it was really quite, I think I was probably about a teenager before I realized that wasn't true. I honestly did think that it was just not, London didn't have kids. That was just bizarre. I mean, I look back now and I think, you crazy person, why would you think that? But honestly, that is what I thought. And I still laugh. I'm a bit embarrassed at the thought of it, but it's just, London seems a bizarre place.
No, I get that though, because no, I do get that.
I'm glad you get it. I didn't. I thought it was, like I say, I mean, going into London was the most stressful thing in the planet. I was so scared. I was always terrified of the place. I mean, it was, to be honest, even in my 20s, a few friends have seen me cry on arrival at the relief of actually getting there, because I would be so scared of the journey. I'd be like, oh my God, I've made it. Oh my God, I've made it. So yeah, very, very stressful. So it's quite funny talking to somebody who has done the whole London life thing. So yeah. Anyway, I digress completely. So what's your favourite part of being a vet?
Favorite part of the job is sort of I do like surgery, big fan of surgery, and I like to think I'm quite good at it. Yeah, not blowing my own. I realise saying that I suddenly sound like the most incompetent person in the whole world. I am quite good at it without blowing my own trumpet. I mean, who doesn't like spending their day seeing animals? And I know that's always the thing, particularly with veterinary nurses, or you spend your day cuddling dogs and cats, and we very, vets and nurses, we very, very angrily say, no, we don't. It's very, very important. But we do spend a good amount of time cuddling.
It's important. It's an important part of therapy. And absolute fact that it is good for pain relief. So... total fact. So
absolutely. But yeah, and then I like meeting people and sort of, sounds a bit cliche, but I do like helping people out. I like when sort of something's sick and you make it better and then everyone's happy. Who doesn't like that? It is a good thing. It can be stressful, it can be very, very busy. COVID's been really a weird time for the veterinary profession, as pet owners will know. Everything's changed completely. It's not been much fun for us, and I know it's not been much fun for anybody. But yeah, no, it's
good.
Yeah. I used to like the kind of that everything can change in a second, but now I'm a bit old now, so now I'm sort of a bit like, I do still, it's the challenge of that, but I won't say I quite look forward to the kind of craziness quite as much as I did when I was in my 20s, but
I think you probably also cope with it a lot better because you're older and you've got more experience. So probably that happens less anyway, because you're so more chill with it, which is really good. I just want to also say hello to Matthew, because Matt's watching and he says, hi Donna, hi Catherine. So thanks for watching. And Barbara, who's been watching from the start, she has said, I'm going to flash this one up. She has said, it's so nice to hear that more and more veterinarians support physiotherapy. I can also see this here in Switzerland. With a good dialogue between the two, the patient can only win. I completely agree.
Thanks, totally.
There you go. Barbara's a superstar. She's another fellow physio in Switzerland. I would love to go and visit her at some point. She said I can go and visit, so I will at some point. So yeah, it's really nice. You see, we all love it when the vets are getting involved with physio. I'm so sorry, I talked over you. What did you just say there?
I was being silly. I said, do you allow yourself a CPD allowance because you could go visit her and call it CPD?
I completely agree with that. I'm totally on board with that. She's got an amazing clinic. It would be lovely to see. Go meet her little Rottweilers. They're not so little.
Oh, I was going to say, how little? Yeah.
I think we just call them all little, don't we? So lovely. So what pets have you got? Have you got any? I don't think you've got time anymore.
I have one now. I used to have two. So I have Elsie, who's a cat who's downstairs with Thea. She's just a little black and white moggy. And I got her in my first job. She was the classic stray brought in. She still has all of her body parts because that's always the classic thing. Vets and nurses don't own complete animals.
No, I've got a three-legged.
Exactly. So yeah, Elsie, she's I don't actually know if she was an adult stray, but she must be. I've had her 13 years. No, 12 years. She must be about 14 now anyway. And then up until last year, we also had a little hamster who, because Thea was then 2 when I brought her home, so she was called Mouse because she didn't know what a hamster was. Mouse only had one eye, so we had Mouse, the one-eyed hamster, who was actually quite sweet. She was very, very sweet, and she lived to like 2.5. She did really well. Little Russian dwarf. She was a lovely little thing.
How'd she only have one eye?
She had discotiasis, so that's when the eyelashes grow into the eye. So in dogs, you don't tend to see it in cats, but in dogs you would ideally like laser kind of ablate the follicles so they don't grow, or you can do sort of you don't anymore, but you could do like things where you take strips of skin out, like an entropion surgery, but you tend to do the sort of laser ablation. But you can't really with hamsters because they're so small. It's you're just going to damage the area, and it just was constantly traumatizing her eye. It was constantly a source of pain. So it's essentially we took it out. It does sound a little bit kind of overkill, but there kind of wasn't any other treatment options for her.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you did eye surgery on a hamster?
Yes, yeah. She was that was when I was working at a Vets for Pets, which are the ones inside Pets at Home. So she was actually she didn't have an owner, she was a shop animal, and I just felt so sorry for her because she just had this big surgery. She was going to be in the shop on her own, so I brought her home because keep an eye on her and everything, and
keep an eye on her.
Keep an eye. I'm just bringing her home for tonight. So that's inverted commas, but yeah, and she never went back to the job, obviously.
Aww. Did they give her to you, or did they still charge you?
No, I still had to pay, and then I had to pay for a treatment, and then I had to buy her from the shop. But obviously it's all good.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. Oh, what a lovely story. And that's a lot. Your child's learned a lot through that as well about caring for pets.
Yeah, it was quite funny when she was at nursery, and she used to, when they were doing my family, and she'd draw. So she'd draw like me, she'd draw her dad, even though we're not together, obviously he's still in the family pictures and everything. And then she'd draw her, and then she'd draw Elsie the cat, and then she'd draw a mouse, and she'd draw it with one eye. And the teacher was sort of like, she will not give the hamster 2 eyes, and we keep saying, no, everything's got 2 eyes. And it was a bit like, oh, okay, we have to explain this, when she was about 3 and she couldn't really explain it. But yeah, no.
That was exactly the same. No, I had exactly the same with my daughter, because she would draw one. She always drew both our dogs, and one with 4 legs and one with 3. And that was also what they couldn't work out. It's so funny.
Yes.
And the thing is,
so this one's only got 3 legs, and you're like,
And she'd explain the story properly as well, and then but they wouldn't believe her. So I'm like, no, it's totally true. What she said is exactly right. I literally can't explain it any more than that. And they'd be like, yeah. So yeah, that is quite funny. I love it when the kids learn, like they listen to what you said, and then they translate it into kid terms, and then start talking about it. My daughter gives a lot of advice on harnesses.
Brilliant!
You're 7. Perhaps don't talk about that just yet, because people don't quite understand what you're trying to say there. Yeah, it is quite funny. Bless them. I'm so sorry. Your phone keeps clocking out when I'm talking at the same time, so I missed that last bit as well.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying, does she like people out at the park?
Little bit. A little bit. Yeah, and she's reading a dog book at the moment, and it's not entirely factually correct. Like there's a few bits in it you're like, oh, and then she's like, no, but my book says so.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way, and she'd be like, no, well, this isn't true because my mummy says so. So there you go.
There is that as well. That does happen as well. But no, at the moment, it's all about the book. It's all about the book.
If it's written down, it must be true. So.
Well, exactly. I question this book a lot, but there we go. It was given as a Christmas present. That's that. So what part of being a vet still grosses you out?
Oh, honestly, saliva. I hate saliva.
Oh, I've not had that one yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but slobber is gross.
Yeah, and I like the dogs. I don't like their lips, but like Dog de Bordeaux's, and when they're like, and then it's all kind of drip. Actually, gorgeous. Genuinely, really like the dogs, but oh my god, I couldn't. And like Newfies and things, when they've got the kind of the big drool, I get a bit.
And then they slide past your leg and leave it behind. It's always left on your trousers. And I must admit, I do often think that must be impressively difficult to keep up with at home, because they slap like that and then whoosh, it's all across the wall.
Yeah. I don't know how. I'm just in awe. I'm so in awe. Like, if anybody listening does have a big drooly dog, how do you do it? Like, do you have like a little drool hammock?
Come on, tips from any people watching that actually has this issue and actually knows how to deal with it. Please let us know, because actually, and it's funny because when they get older, they get the drooly drowls, and like my second dog, my first one, he's managed to keep quite a tight lip, so no facelift needed. But the second dog, I could see his lips.
And dogs, his lips are still tight.
Absolutely. I'm going to ignore that. So Swagger's.
That was a joke. I didn't mean that. Oh my god.
Swagger, we're fine, we're good. Swagger's lips are all saggy, and I know that in about a year or two he's going to start slobbering, and I need to know how we're going to deal with this, because I'm going to be in this position. I feel like I'm going to have to walk around with like tissues on tap. So yeah, no, that is a very good one. That is a very good one. So tell me, if time was no object, what would your dream achievement be?
Like in life or in veterinary?
Oh, either. Whichever one's most exciting. Tell me both. Tough question.
In veterinary, it almost changed. It doesn't change daily. That's silly. But like, because at the moment, I'm trying to learn lots about pain management and stuff, because kind of inspired by our conversation and everything. So I'd like to learn more about that. And the other thing as well is because I'm one of the only vets where I am currently who's kind of comfortable with seeing exotic mammals. So I also would like to kind of not specialize, but kind of improve my knowledge there as well, so that I can take on that role within the practice and sort of teach others, and obviously provide a service to the people who need it. But if I go to speak to an orthopedic surgeon, I'll probably be all like, oh, I want to do orthopedic surgery. But
you get excited when you talk to somebody and they're excited about what they do, and it bleeds over, doesn't it? So I understand that.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited about the veterinary profession in general. I reckon over the next 5 years, I think it will change quite a lot. I think or I certainly hope that nurses' roles will be protected, which I don't know if you guys have talked about in previous episodes, but also kind of expanded. And I think that would be a really, really good thing. I'm genuinely excited.
Good, that is true.
No, but in life.
And personally,
no.
And personally, I was going to say, and personally,
sorry. I thought you said like,
just surviving another bedtime would be good, wouldn't it? When you're a single mom, it must be exhausting.
Yeah, I can't think about right. Yeah, short term. Or I want to sort out Thea's bedroom because she needs an upgrade because it's quite nursery-y, and she needs like a little girl bedroom now, or a little child bedroom.
Don't even worry about it. I just had this conversation with my child, and she literally just cried her eyes out. I'm not ready to lose it all. It's my memories. I'm like, Paige, you've got your mobile from when you were a baby, and you've never let me get rid of it. I just want it. It's my memories. Oh my goodness me. So yeah, don't rush.
Oh, maybe not then. Yeah.
No pressure.
Although, Thea's she decided she wanted like an aquarium / scientist themed bedroom, which I'm really thrilled about because I'm like mega into STEM, but equally it's like, I don't know how to make a scientist themed bedroom.
That does sound like an impressive challenge, but how lovely that she wants to be a scientist.
Or paleontology, they're all types of science. And she was like, no, I want a scientist with like test tubes. So she wants like a chemistry bedroom. And I'm like, it's not really a theme for kids' bedroom.
No, but it's a very cool theme, and I think that is one to be encouraged, and I definitely think that's better than Barbie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. And actually, I think that artistically, I would definitely take the challenge of painting a test tube over painting a scenery of a bird or something. So I'm pretty sure you could pull that off. That's all right.
I think I could. I think I've had these ideas to get like clear plastic tubes. So I want to get one of them mid sleeper beds and get some like clear plastic tubes and sort of like, that's what I do, but like threading them along the bed and stuff so that she can like, I don't know if it will work. So everybody can laugh at me, but like, so she can pull like kind of liquids down and see it sort of travel through the tubes and stuff.
That's so cool. Yeah. We all get too many ideas in our heads. I always wanted to put a slide off of my daughter's bed, and we never got around to it. But
up until I realised she'd never sleep again.
Yeah, exactly. My current project is to sort out my stair lift that my dog has. So how
is that going?
Oh my god, my stair lift's amazing. It's been life-changing.
Have you set it up?
Yes. So, yeah, I've put videos up.
Yeah, how
So
did
for anybody watching, go and see my stair lift videos, and I've got more videos to come because I've got to just edit them, put them together. And my husband's going to also do a little talk through of how we did it, so that everybody can get stair lifts in their house. Because people say, "Oh, you should patent it." We're like, "No way! Just anyone, just please get stair lifts. Just do what you need to do to help your animals because it's amazing."
I love to show you, but it doesn't come up automatically on my newsfeed, so I need to watch more of your videos so that it does, because I'm really interested. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I've told 2 people to buy their dogs buggies.
Yay! Amazing! Oh, Catherine's a convert. Yay!
Particularly, who's lovely little dog. He's nearly 17. He's doing so well, but he's very wobbly, so he doesn't go very far. And we were sort of talking about walks and how good it is for their mental health as well as physical and all this kind of stuff. And they were like, "Oh, but he can't go far." And I was like, but you could get a buggy, and then you could take him to where you want to go, and then let him out and let him have a sniff and all this kind of stuff. And the woman went, "Oh," and the guy went, "Brr." So I think, I reckon next time they might have a buggy. I think there's a good chance.
Totally. I mean, honestly, I understand both of those reactions. And, maybe it is easier for a woman because we're kind of used to pushing the babies around in the buggy already. And I don't like that stereotyping, but maybe it is something in there. But, I honestly think that anybody's reservations are based on our own worries of what people will say. And actually, everybody is so on board with it. It's untrue. Everybody's like, "Oh, amazing. You've managed to get your dog out." Because the only people that won't understand are the people that haven't been in your situation. That's it. Anyone who's been in the situation, myself very much so, because my dog is literally a few days off of 16. He's a rescue. He might actually be 16. I don't know. But his official birthday that we added is the 23rd. And, so we're just so excited. So he's doddery, but, like I say, he's now got his stair lift, which I just need to now paint. I think I've decided that I'm going to go for a VW camper van styly bus. And then, so that's this weekend's project. But now I've managed to get both dogs trained to do it. So dog 1, it was really easy. Put him in there. He stayed still, absolutely fine. Actually, he's a bit lazy and sits on the back ledge. That's the bigger issue. Just stand up. And he's like, "Whoa, I've got a seat though, haven't I?" So he goes up very happily. And then the other dog, I asked him to go up, and he put one, because he's our 3-legged and he's 7. So I was like, he needs to start doing this, like just to get him used to the idea before it's actually essential. And he put one foot in and then jumped on me and went, "Oh, Mum, that was weird." And then I said, "Oh, you good boy." I said, "Do it again." So he did, one foot on, and then went to me and went, "Oh, that was less weird, but okay." And then I said, "Go on, do it again." And I was expecting him to just keep putting his one foot up, but actually the third time he jumped in completely. So he jumped in and sat there, and I thought, well, he looks quite happy and calm. So I was like, "Yeah, you good boy." So I closed the door, and then he was still really good. So I was like, "Oh, good boy," lots of praise. And then so I switched it on, and I went up the stairs, and he was really good. So I switched it, and I came down the stairs, and then I got him out, and he's now been up and down a few times. So I'm like, "Yay, both my dogs can go in the stair lift." I'm so proud. So that's it. We're eternally a stair lift house.
Oh, congratulations though. Like, that's so good.
Thank you. I am beyond proud. So yeah, it has been absolutely amazing. So yeah, the videos will come. So for anyone watching, the videos will come, and we will definitely let you know. So I think that's a good time to ask you, even though you said loads of this already, but I do like to always ask this question. What do you love about physio?
I suppose, trying to come into this without making myself sound like a complete idiot, but I suppose just kind of it's a different way of thinking about things. And I also, I think I meant, because I had like some chiropractic treatment on my back last year as well, and it was quite interesting, like how releasing muscles that felt quite a long way away from where it hurt helped a lot. So that had already kind of in my head was a bit like, "Oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that," sort of thing. Because, as you know, with animals, we don't know. You don't know. You can't ask them, and so often, less so with Donna's beautiful clinic, which is completely set up that every animal is nice and chilled. But obviously, in a veterinary setting, is very difficult. Very different. So it's quite common that all their muscles are tense because they don't want to be there. So that's sort of fair enough. But anyway, it kind of opened up a sort of bit of a channel. And then sort of going again with a lot of the sort of stuff that you said, it's very interesting about things like how the source of pain is the joint, but actually the fact that we've got those muscles tightening and these ones not working is making it worse. Which sounds so, so once you get to a certain point, it's not just a case of taking pain away, because those muscles are still spasming and tight, and okay, they might not hurt, but they're still not working kind of like they should be. So I suppose it's just kind of the other way of looking at it, because, and I think as vets, we've all had these cases where you have, particularly the classic arthritic dog who's very, very stoic and has never ever shown a problem. And by the time you see them, they can barely move because it's so gradual. Maybe the owners haven't particularly noticed, or they've chalked it up to aging, that kind of thing. And it takes a long time, and previously a lot of drug trials and things like this to get them on, to get them on straight and narrow. And so it's been a real kind of revelation in terms of, we can control the pain here. Great, that's done, but that's not the end of it. Where I think I and a lot of, well, I can only speak for myself, but I certainly in the past was maybe a bit guilty of, and maybe I'd say, oh yeah, you benefit from physio or hydro, but not really follow it up. But now I can almost, it's so nice to be able to say, look, feel this muscle compared to this muscle. Isn't this one, it feels so much tougher, and if we just do some massages, and then I'll sit there and massage it while we're having a conversation about, pain meds or whatever else is going on. And then it'll be like, look, have a feel now. And this is just 5 minutes of, and it's like, oh, that's really relaxed. You literally can. And it's sort of, it almost feels powerful because you're empowering people to, this is something that will really help and you can do. And it doesn't require a lot. It requires feeling, getting to know your dog and feeling what's normal so that you can feel what's abnormal, getting to read their signs that they're uncomfortable, don't push them too far, all that kind of, and it's really good. And it's really rewarding because it's another way of helping. And it's not just helping the dog, it's helping the owner. And it's, yeah.
No, for sure, absolutely. And you've hit the nail on the head there as well with the helping of the owner part, because it does empower owners to feel a bit more in control, a bit more like they've got some power to do something about something. I do have cases where, the dog might get lame and I've shown them already how to do some massage. So in that moment where they've got up extra lame, they can go and do that massage, and then the dog stands up again after that and is much more comfortable. Yeah. And you're like, oh, good. I feel good that I've been able to pass that on to you. And they feel good that they have some power and some knowledge and something to do with it. Yeah. And I also wanted to just touch on what you said as well about, sometimes the owner misses something, because I had that conversation with somebody earlier today, and it's really important that actually we point out that is not to be, and no one should be frowning upon that and feeling guilty, because the owner I spoke to earlier felt really bad. He was like, oh, I'm such a bad dad because I didn't notice. And it's like, like you said, it's come on so gradually that you just don't notice. It's almost like weight gain, you don't notice till your trousers are too tight or something. It's just it's one of those gradual things you just don't notice. Flexibility is one of those things you don't notice till all of a sudden you can't sort of bend down and tie your shoelaces one day,
till someone goes, can you touch your toes? And you go, yeah, of course I can. And then you're like, oh god,
yeah, exactly.
God, I can touch my toes.
Yay. So exactly, it's so if you are the owner, don't ever think that anyone's going to judge you for that. It is always a case of just accept you've seen it at that point. It doesn't matter, go to the vet, have the chat, and then we'll all help you from there. And and we can work things out and work things backwards. It's absolutely fine. So so thank you so much for that, Katharine. That was a really nice privy of what you love about physio. So most appreciated. So now I want to know as well about you. If you could have a Facebook live chat like this with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
It would be either Bob Dylan or Freddie Mercury.
Oh, nice. Okay.
No?
Wow. I've never had those come up before. So you're all into the music side of things then, or is there something else that you know about these people that you actually want to find out about?
No, I just like their music. I think they're cool. Basically.
I did see a bit of a bio about Freddie Mercury, and actually it was really quite impressive. Like it was just a little short sort of clip thing, and I was like, I had no idea he was really bullied for his teeth and stuff. And I didn't actually even realise he was Indian, which was like, I'm so clueless.
He was from Tanzania, I think he was, from Zanzibar. So technically,
I can't even remember at all, but I thought that was what I saw in this. I mean, I can't remember at all now, so definitely don't quote me on it. But his upbringing was really like I think he was all quite wealthy, but he just got bullied a lot for his teeth, and I just had no idea. But he was so strong that he refused to have his teeth sorted out, and I agree, and I respect him so much for that. So that's what I'm trying to say. What a strong personality! That would be amazing. I know nothing about Bob Dylan whatsoever, so yeah. If anyone's watching, tell us some nuggets about Bob Dylan, because otherwise I feel embarrassed. I can't say anything.
Doesn't matter. It's one of those, you sort of put it on, and the first time everyone listens to it, they're a bit like, what's this? But I took sorry, I've just unplugged my phone. Let me plug that back in. When I taught myself guitar when I was like a teenager, and from my dad's sort of books from the 70s, so there was a lot of Bob Dylan. So I kind of got into it that way. And
that's really cool. So you play the guitar then? That's amazing.
Oh yeah, I kind of bash out a few chords while singing, kind of thing. I don't properly play the guitar, but yeah.
That's what everybody says, and then all of a sudden you're a grade 8 guitar player.
Very much not. I only have little hands, so I can't do bar chords properly. I mean, I only play an acoustic, so I can't do bar chords, so I really am not a good guitarist at all.
Oh no, that's really lovely. Oh, it's great playing a musical instrument though. Well done, that's amazing.
Just for the time. But yes, anyway, sorry, carry on. Sorry.
No worries. So tell us something that people may not know about you.
I thought I read these all properly. I thought I'd prepared something, and apparently I haven't. What don't people know about me? People don't know about the martial arts, I suppose, is probably quite a good one, because most people don't know that.
You've not told any of your colleagues at work?
One of them knows, because she goes to kickboxing, and I'm going to go with her. I don't think I have yet, because kind of the conversation hasn't come up, and I don't want to be like, hi everybody, I'm a black belt.
No, but that's like, yeah, I do get that. I do get that. It's just that being a black belt is pretty impressive to have nobody know. I feel like you're allowed.
I've got a good one. What people don't know about me. Okay. So yes, I did do martial arts. I taught kickboxing as well while I was there. So I taught kickboxing while I was pregnant. And I did my last kickboxing lesson on a Thursday before obviously leaving maternity and everything. Gave birth on the Monday. So so I was teaching kickboxing at 9 months pregnant. That's something people don't know.
That is very impressive. By the way, so I mean, I think you need 2 badges now, because what I was going to say is, I think that when you've got a black belt, for kickboxing or for any martial art, you're allowed to have a badge. So just say, you don't need to tell anyone. You're just allowed to have a badge. I am a black belt. It's perfectly acceptable. And then now you can have another badge that I'm a black belt, not afraid to use it at 9 months pregnant. So yeah, that's absolutely amazing. That's a great anecdote and a great dinner party story. So what's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
Probably when I was at vet school, we went me and my then boyfriend went to South Africa for 4 weeks to go and work at a cheetah breeding and sort of releasing project, and it was one that was advertised through the uni, and I think it was about July. No, it was June, whatever. And I was about 20 years old, and we were like, we should do this. And so we both went and kind of got a loan, paid for it, and went about 3 weeks later. So that was a bit of a spirit. That's probably the most, because it was going somewhere.
That's
abroad.
Very spontaneous. 3 weeks. Yeah. That's impressive.
It was really cool. It was really funny as well, because it was it was in South Africa. It was in a little town called Hoedspruit. And so you flew to Johannesburg, and then you flew on one of I don't know planes, but it was one that has like the things on the wing that go round, and there was only like one seat on either side of the plane. Like, it was a really tiny plane. And we got to this airport that was like a kind of strip of concrete in the middle of a field, and sort of passport control was someone who looked at your passport and then like checked your name off on the list of a piece of paper to make sure you're supposed to have been on that flight. And then like there was just this guy who sort of picked us up in the back of a van, and we were like, we're either about to have a really good experience or we're about to be killed. Fortunately, it was the former.
Wow, I must admit I would be nervous in that situation as well.
Yeah,
that does sound mad.
Yeah.
The rules are slightly different in other countries, aren't they, about the flying and stuff. When we went on a honeymoon, we went to the Maldives, and we had to get a boat plane thing to get to the island, and they were flying with no shoes on, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, are you sure you shouldn't have shoes on? I mean, you have got pedals, you know. We're not allowed to drive cars without shoes on. So it was a bit weird. But yeah, that sounds an amazing experience. Wow, cheetahs. That's insane. Were you safe enough there? Was everything all right?
Yeah, more or less. I've got a scar from it, but that was my own fault. But they had so they bred. It was really interesting actually, because cheetahs numbers have been declining, or so this was good 16 years ago. They have actually improved since then, and they didn't know a lot of stuff, and one of the things they didn't know was how they bred, and basically cheetah ladies like to have to be able to choose their mate, essentially. So especially when they're in a sort of more confined area, like someone like the Serengeti is big enough that it doesn't matter, but somewhere like Kruger, where everything's a lot denser, they like to have 2 or 3 and pick which one they like the best, which is
good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing they found when they were pairing them up, it didn't always work, and they didn't know why until I think they did something. It was something along the lines of they were moving a female cheetah who was in heat. And when they passed sort of one, she wasn't bothered, another one, she wasn't bothered, and then it was kind of when she saw both of them, then she was all sort of like, oh, hi boys, hi. And I realized she quite likes a choice sort of thing. I mean, this is what they told me 16 years ago when I was 20. So I might, angry comments, I apologize, I'm probably wrong, kind of thing, but that
things might have changed, but that's what you were told then, and that is fair enough. And also 9 times out of 10 there's always loads of opinions about these things, so that was the opinion you were told, so totally go with it. This is really interesting, and I think it's perfectly believable.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with it. Female cheetahs need to choose, but no, yeah, it was really cool. And they had this one cheetah who, she was about 18 months old. I can't remember, she had something wrong with her, I can't remember what, she couldn't be released, so she was a lot tamer than the others. And she had to have her meat minced up. She couldn't eat whole bits of meat, something to do with her. So she wasn't a pet, she was still very much wild animal and stuff, but a lot of them, the meat would be sort of put in over the fence onto sort of the thing they ate off and all this kind of stuff. But with her, because it was minced, you had to go in and put it down, otherwise it would just go everywhere. And I was wearing shorts with like a dangly belt thing, and like a kitten, and you sort of dangle something and they go like, and yeah, she was 18 months old, so she did that to my dangly belt, and I've got a scar on my calf.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness,
that is one, but it's quite a cool story.
Yeah, it is a cool story, and also that must have been quite scary. I mean, you're going to get out of that and take a few deep breaths, aren't you?
Do you know what? The funny thing is, I just remember just showing everybody. I just remember being thrilled about it. Like, look at my leg.
Well, I mean, that is some serious cheetah love. So yeah, I get it.
And I was only 20, so
that is fair enough. Now I have to point this out because Paula has come on and she's just told us a Bob Dylan fact. So thank you, Paula, for sharing this Bob Dylan fact. Bob Dylan won a Nobel Prize for literature. That's amazing. Literature? Yeah, I mean, I guess writing lyrics is literature, or did he write a book? What did he do, Paula? We need more details.
He would have written everything.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a bit like Leonard Cohen, like as in you could read his songs as probably easier than listening to them. Yeah,
Nobel Prize for it though as well. That's mad.
I want to say, and she will know best, but I want to say he's the only songwriter who's won it, I believe.
Well, that would make sense, but I wouldn't know, but that would make a lot of sense. Like, I wouldn't have saw a songwriter winning a Nobel Prize. I don't know much about Nobel Prizes, though, to be fair. But that's blown my mind, actually, because I didn't have a clue. So, yeah, thank you for that. So did you want to do a shout out to any of your fellow colleagues that you would, like to, sing their praises at all?
No,
you hate them all. I'm joking.
Well, I will shout out to Christina, because she is my head nurse at Dunmo, where I work, and she's the one who's getting into physio. So we've been sort of working together. Well, she's done the course. She between us, we probably make like a third of Donna, I reckon. We're building our way up, kind of thing. We're quite near.
Oh, bless you.
But yeah, no. So big shout out to her for starting up the Arthritis Clinics, for being interested in it, so that to have someone else interested too makes it a lot easier to implement, doesn't it? So
sure. Yeah, no, that's excellent. Make sure she gets in touch if she wants any help and tips or anything like that. So yeah, that's absolutely fine.
I will do.
That's amazing. So thank you for doing that. So I think blimey, I was going to ask, like, what's the most amazing zoo animal you've ever treated, but I feel like that's your cheetah, isn't it?
I did vaccinate a cheetah for rabies. No, but I will go. The weirdest animal I had brought to me in the clinic was an African land snail, and that was in a clinic in Colchester.
Wow. And what did you have to do with that?
I had to put it down. My boss had tried to treat it. So I don't quite know how, because we're not taught anything at all about arthropods at school, and my knowledge is limited. But it wasn't very well. I had to put it down. All went fine, up until the owner, and apologies if you are listening, but they were sort of like, we think he's gone. It's very, very sad. We just want you to just double check and just confirm that he's passed. And what we usually do in vet med is we'll listen to their heart, we'll check for like eye reflexes and things like this. And obviously a snail doesn't have a heart, or doesn't have a heart that you can hear, and it's got antennae, but you can't do corneal reflexes. So it was a bit of a sort of like, I don't know really. So that was a bit awkward.
Hard. I mean, to be honest, I was going to ask, like, how did they know it wasn't well? Like, what symptoms do you even see?
I didn't ask either, because I wasn't sure. And I'll be honest, I still don't know anything at all about them. I
mean, that's an impressively amazing owner for noticing.
Yeah, that's hugely.
And, I don't want to laugh because that's not right, but like, I'm actually genuinely impressed that an owner would notice that a snail is unwell. I mean, it might, I was going to say walk, but obviously it's got 1 foot technically. Slower.
It was still coming out of its shell.
I suppose that's something you might notice.
You know what? Yeah, I didn't ask. I didn't actually ask. That's awful, because I was so worried about messing up what I had to do. But at the time, that was all that was in my head, kind of thing. Like, it kind of I was just so worried about sort of doing something wrong and upsetting them or hurting the snail or anything like this.
That has actually really blown my mind. I'm so glad I asked that question, because I'm going to be sitting here thinking about that for a long time. I mean, it could have diarrhea, I suppose. Like, it could have change of poops.
Yeah.
It
could be not eating.
It could just not eat. But, usually you don't normally have just one snail in the tank. So you'd have to notice that, wouldn't you? Like, I don't know how you'd notice the food. I mean, less food might be eaten, I suppose, but that's hard, isn't it?
Because it looked normal. It didn't have any growths or a weird shell or anything.
Yeah, those things would be more obvious.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
I have actually got a friend who's really into her snails. And
really?
Veronica, if you're watching, tell me more about how you would notice if your snail was sick. If not, I might message her later, because I'm just really curious now.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, definitely. So Paula, she's just come on and said something cool. More info about this. For creating new poetic expressions within music, he was considered to be a very bad singer. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
As much as I want to say, go and listen to him, you'll love him, you won't. It's sort of it has to grow on you a little bit.
That's amazing. So, okay, so it was definitely for his lyrics then. That's really cool. But
Oh,
still.
You're My Love by Adele. That's a Bob Dylan song.
Oh, wow. Oh, so she did like a lot of older music, didn't she? So that would make sense.
Yeah.
Wow. God, my mind's been blown quite a lot by this conversation and this chat, I have to say. So thank you, Katharine, for that. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I'm going to be now thinking about snails and Bob Dylan. Interesting. So yeah, anyway, right, so I need to wrap this up. My last question I wanted to ask you is what's your top tip for pain?
Honestly, right at the moment is massage, is feel. Hugely is particularly chronic pain. Feel your animals, get to know what's normal for them, and then you'll get to know what's not normal, and you can feel those muscles that are spasming and contributing to the problem. And not just animals, yourself as well. I found I can massage my back a lot better sort of since even though I was taught all those things, I feel I've got better but I feel like I've got better understanding now, so that's helped me as well. But yeah, generally just massaging the muscles, that's my biggest thing at the moment, particularly for chronic pain.
That is absolutely amazing and a really perfect tip. And yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing, and it's so true. And if you don't have the confidence to do it yourself, then that's absolutely fine, because it does take learning. There are courses out there, and because this has been so wonderfully plugged in by Katharine, I am going to just plug my DVD right now and just say, oh, there you go, it's right here. I do have a puppy massage DVD, so you can learn how to do that yourself at home, and also it is an online course, and I will put the link in the comments, so you can get that later. So since Katharine pointed that out, I'm going to also take that advantage, so thank you for that. So thank you, Katharine. Thank you so much to all of our watchers. We have had an amazing chat. I've really enjoyed it. It's been lovely to get to know you more. It's been great. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined in and watched and commented. And yeah, thank you so much for the Bob Dylan stuff, because that's been really interesting. And Paula, I'm just going to say, because she's just added this last comment, Lily is almost 12 and the only time she lets me touch her is if I'm massaging her back and her glass legs. Oh, she has basically got glass legs. She's had a lot of operations now, but she's
glass legs. That's so cool.
She's amazing. She is the most hardcore 12-year-old you've ever met in your life. She acts like a 2-year-old puppy, and she's had elbows, everything done, and she just recovers. She's just amazing. I've met her through a physio. Yeah, she's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yes, and very good owners. So they do as they're told. It's lovely. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, everybody. And make sure you join us. You are welcome. Thank you. Make sure you join us in 2 weeks for our next one. Take care. Bye-bye.